Hello,
Sorry,
Cynthia.
Safari doesn't support StreamYard, so I had to just quickly download Chrome.
All right, okay, no worries, no
How are
worries.
you?
Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. How are you?
Yeah, well, thank you. All good.
Brilliant, brilliant. You are one of the top 10 most, upcoming women who will be a big thing in the next few years.
Oh
So,
my goodness! What you?
those women to look out for, the power women. Yeah. So I think it'd be really good to get you on the podcast and just catch up with you. It's just a general conversation, just chat about what's going on, yourself, your journey, and the lessons within and everything else.
Yeah, awesome.
In a way, that gets to inspire others to success as well, because you are doing amazing things.
Oh well, it's been a bit of a tricky a tricky year, let's say, with coronavirus, but yeah, I'm trying.
That's good. That's all we can do, isn't it?
Trying to take over the world one step at a time.
That's absolutely it. So I think just initially, just to sort of set the scene, I thought it would be good to sort of map out your journey from humble beginnings, the beginning where you've come from, maybe school, siblings, education, and all of that journey. Yeah. And then how you came into maybe entrepreneurship and realizing the things that you wanted to do, and then up to here, what the vision is looking like, what you're doing now, and what's the future, and so on. So just a general general chat like that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's go. I think normal upbringing, really, school, etc. Always had an appetite to do something different. So, travel the world when I was 20, and again when I was 25, and then moved from the Midlands to London completely on a whim. When I was, I think 26, I was, and that's really, kind of kick-started my career. So I worked in print management and just worked my way up from being account exec through to sort of high-level client account directorship, which was all good fun, and I had great times in London, entertaining clients and stuff. Yeah. And then somehow got interested into property and ended up in the progressive property sales funnel. Yeah.
Like we all do, yeah.
Yeah. So went along to I think one of their networking nights and then one of their Masopi events. And that sort of opened my eyes to entrepreneurship and property investing. Set up a property sourcing business. Saw some success from that, and then kind of went into property development, but only short term from my side. So the business was with my ex-partner, and then when we split the business and went our separate ways, and that saw me back into my print career, really. I'd spent all these wonderful years learning about how to ditch your job and how to set up a business that I found it quite difficult going back into full-time employment. Worked for a year, kind of saving and plotting and planning, and then launched my own print management business, which was at the start of 2019.
Yeah.
Was it 2018? Oh, the years I don't know.
Time flies, isn't it? When you're having fun.
Got some great success in that business. Brought some, nice clients with me that I'd worked with historically, and just due to my previous experience working with big brands like Virgin Holidays and Garmin, other sort of travel brands like that. That's kind of where I put my area of focus into travel and events companies, which was absolutely great. And the business was scaling nicely until COVID, because travel and events are a terrible sector to be in. when you're going through a pandemic.
Yeah.
So yeah, that business is still going. It's just, you know, kind of ticking over, waiting for the market to recover, really.
Yeah.
But I got bored in amongst all the lockdowns, in between homeschooling, and I've always been sort of in and around the property world.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know, I've definitely got some skills here that I could look at utilising. And rather than pivot my current business, I thought, let's have a little crack at, you know, going back into property. So yeah, formed a company the back end of last year, and so far so good. It's been really successful. So that business has scaled nicely. We are working our focus areas are Leeds and Birmingham, and we're sourcing hands-free projects for investors that have cash to invest, and just offering a hands-free service for property investors. So that's it in a nutshell, really. I'm sure there's other bits and bobs along the way that I've forgotten about, but it's all fun.
Absolutely. No, that's quite an amazing journey you've been, you know, ups and downs within. But what would you say has kept you? Because, you know, in most cases, people get to do like business or change their career or lifestyle when they are faced with some challenge of some sort which happens. Because otherwise, a lot of us, we are in a comfort zone, isn't it? If you have like you're in a job and it's well paid and, you know, life is going on, you know, most people don't get to actually jump into something else. What would you say was like some of the key driving things for you to actually go business rather than, I mean, obviously you mentioned COVID and looking into property, but, just that distinction between a paid job and going entrepreneurship, because entrepreneurship can be quite scary as well, isn't it?
Oh yeah, 100%. I suppose there's been two jumps for me. The first one, when I did it 7-8 years ago with my then partner, I was already on maternity leave, so I'd kind of come away from employment and, you know, use the maternity leave time to you know, nurture a new business. So that was a kind of a natural progression. And then I suppose the second one, which was the biggest one, because I'd gone back into full-time employment, but I'd kind of been exposed to the world of entrepreneurship and what it could offer in terms of, I think for me, freedom. So I've got a little boy, and at that time he was 4, and he was about to start school, and I just couldn't really see how I could make a full-time corporate career job work around him being in school without having to, you know, sacrifice spending time with him. So, you know, I wanted to be there for pickups and drop-offs, and I wanted to be there for school holidays. So it was the freedom that it offered. You know, I could take my work anywhere in the world. Not that we can go anywhere right now, but you know, I can work early in the morning or late at night, and I'm, you know, not governed by somebody else's, you know, rules and regulations of what a job looks like. And then there's, you know, the financial aspect of it. You know, the bigger it gets, the more money it earns, the more freedom we then have from a financial perspective as well. So, absolutely brilliant. Now,
so I guess, you know, looking back, you know, they say, you know, when you're into mindset and personal development and everything, mind power, that everything that happens or has happened in our lives up to now has obviously led us to be where we are. Maybe it's happened for a reason and all those other things, you know. You probably wouldn't be doing what you're doing now if certain things hadn't happened.
I've done some, you know, I've tried some crazy things as well. It was, you know, to make before something really stuck. So, you know, I've got 2 businesses now which are great. You know, not that I just was like, okay, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this. You know, there was all sorts of learning and experimenting and trial and error, and, you know, times of feeling completely lost of, you know, is this going to work, or is it right, along the way, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, is there anything looking back that you think maybe you would have changed, or if it happened differently, it have taken you in a different direction?
You know, I always say this about hindsight. So what we do with hindsight is we take a particular point in time in the past. We say, oh, if you change that one thing, then this present day would be so much better. But that's not right. That's not true. Because you change one particular point in the past and then get run over by a bus. You don't know that by changing that one thing, that the end result is that it will be better. So no regrets at all. It's and, you know, even the low points have made the highs more worthy. Because you have to kind of ride the roller coaster.
Oh, brilliant. Absolutely. And I mean, I pick up on one specific post I think you put up about anything and everything that's happened, it's 100% your responsibility.
Yes. Yeah. So I've had a few conversations around it just recently with, you know, some friends, etc. And that was a hard one for me to a pill for me to swallow. You kind of have to accept that everything that's going on in your life is your responsibility. You have to take ownership, and you have to own every decision and own every circumstance. You know, it's not to say that if you know, crash your car, it's not unfortunate, but you just have to, you know, work with that and emotionally manage that. And and, you know, it happens for a reason. And as long as we're all healthy and, you know, have got our loved ones around us, anything can overcome anything. So I think for me that's quite a big sort of mind shift, almost like light bulb moment, isn't it? Because a lot of people, like a lot of things that we do in life, there is some interconnection somehow with either other people or the wider economy and all of that, and it's quite easy to put a blame on, you know, it's government, it's COVID, so, you know. But even though, you know, some people will have made an impact which effectively maybe changed the way we looked at things or made us in a different direction, but to actually think and comprehend that it is still our responsibility that happened, that's quite big. It is, and, you know, I didn't always feel like that. I definitely had dark moments myself. You know, going back 4 years when I had to come away from the original business and from my relationship and from Joseph's dad. That was really, really hard, and it was hard going, and it was very easy to kind of fall into a bit of a dark hole. But we came out the other side, and, you know, it took a bit of time, but, you know, we're here, and we're doing all right.
Brilliant.
We're not doing as good as what we could, but we're working towards it.
Absolutely. I mean, that's
a small step towards you know, something better.
That's the key, isn't it? That's the key. That clarity of vision. So, given all those situations, I mean, someone who maybe is facing similar situation, they are in that period when there's challenge of whatever sort, but they are looking to break through into something just like you did. I mean, what would you say are the key things maybe they should think about? Anything?
Oh my goodness, that's such a hard one. Do you know, I think not put yourself under too much pressure to do too much in such a short space of time, I think. And I mean, to give yourself time to deal with whatever it is that you're dealing with, and then just take really small, consistent steps towards a better future or a bigger goal, or, you know, but not a pressured one. Because I think if you're in a position where you are facing challenge and then you add pressure to build a business or, you know, get a promotion or, you know, whatever your circumstances are, you're pressuring yourself, that can almost take you back steps than it can make you, you know, move forward. So I think just small steps and give yourself time for sure. Brilliant.
And I mean, one of the things as well, you probably follow or have seen something about, Dr. John DeMartini, how he talks about values, like the value factor.
Yeah.
How, when you're doing something that's congruent to your values, that almost makes the challenges within, look, most enjoyable to do, or something.
Yeah, you can align your whatever it is that you're doing back to your values. So even if it does feel a bit, you don't like your job, or you don't like, the position you're in, if you can look at it from the bigger picture and then align it back to where you're trying to go and what you're trying to achieve, I think that's a great way to move yourself forward. And also, I mean, to surround yourself with positive people and positive energy.
Yeah.
Sometimes, when you're in a bad place, it can be a bit, if everyone else is doing great and you're not so much. But if you can just keep your network tight and make sure that it's a positive one, then definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, I mean, with that in mind, would you say across your two business or the things you're doing, they are aligned to your values for you as a person?
100%. I mean, my biggest value is freedom. Freedom and independence. Freedom to be able to make decisions for myself and for my little boy. Freedom to be able to, travel wherever and go wherever. The flexibility around that. Obviously, we have school constraints, but outside of that, then I'm pretty much at a point where I can do whatever else apart from taking them out of school. And then independence. For me, it was all about having financial security. And as that's gone on, that was just sort of like immediate financial security from the day to day, and now that's grown into like the bigger picture of long-term investments and pension funds and SaaS pension funds, and we're now looking at a really bigger sort of security and independence sort of strategy for life, I suppose. It all sounds very grown up.
Absolutely. That's good. That's good. And I mean, one of the things as well is, when you think about leverage, and because when you mention like, financial freedom, essentially you're also trying to build things that will actually generate you maybe, passive income or money, so that you can live life on your terms. Like you said, you want to, and all those kind of things come into the mix. Yeah,
of course. And I suppose it's another value is family, and the things that within our family we like to do, which is travel and adventure and experiences. So I think there has to be an element of leverage, because you have to have. I mean, is any income truly passive? Maybe not, but I've got some investments, and I suppose they're quite passive. But the businesses do take some work, but yeah, I mean, like I say, that they're easy enough to. As long as I've got a laptop and a phone, take with.
You can be anywhere.
That's it. So the beginning of this week, which is half term, we were away camping. So I was working from a tent.
Brilliant.
Holidays. Take my laptop to friends' houses and work from there. And that has its, that also has its, downsides as well, because you actually can't close off and leave it in the office. You've got your phone and your laptop, and wherever you go, it follows you. But yeah, I've enjoyed the ride so far. Yeah,
brilliant. And you seem to have that clarity of vision, like you know where you want to go. And a lot of people, in most cases, maybe they lack that, or they feel overwhelmed, because there's a lot of information out there in terms of what you can do. If you look in property itself, I mean, you can do deal sourcing, it could be SA or rent to rent or whatever. I mean, how can people maybe start to think of one particular maybe direction or something that they can stick to? Because everything, just like you mentioned, patience. You don't become like an overnight success. It takes time, those small building blocks to get to where you are. But how can you, decide or define what is it that you want to do or where you want to go, so that you can start following?